Here's a quick instructional video to help assemble these lights, pendants. So this is the assembly holder. So step number one is to put the bottom, I call it cog wheel because it looks like a cog wheel, but it has a B, letter B engraved in it. Okay, I might as well take it out actually. 1, it's like a clock. It goes around like a clock. 1 through 36. So it's marked with B for bottom, 36, 1, and only the right angle points. 9, 18, 27, 36. That just helps for a quick guidance where to put the slats. So we put the bottom through the assembly holder, and we place the top. The top is double layered. It's easy to identify, and has a T for top, as well as the same numbers 1 through 36. So we place, you can really place it anywhere, but just to have the same starting point, I'm placing the 1 o'clock, the 36 in the 12 o'clock position, I should say. So it's like a clockwork. All right, here we go. We're both pretty much aligned now. This will be held up once we start putting slats in. Now the slats don't have to be numbered exactly. I just have it in batches of, 1 through 9, 10 through 19, then the 20s, 20 through 29, and the 30s. That's it. A quick tip: how you can identify a 6 from a 9, because the number, there are numbers on each slat, right? And sometimes a 9 from a 6, when you first grab it, it's hard to tell. But then this is number 6, this is number 9. The bulge is up higher and smaller on the number 9. Okay? All right. So let's start with, why not, number 1. Okay, so you simply place it and slide it forward as far as it goes and let it just kind of loosely hang. And then we put it in the bottom as well. 1. That's gonna just kind of fall on you, so we need, the best thing to do is go to the opposite side, number 18. So here are my teens, and here's 18. Once 18 is done, it actually hangs in there pretty nicely. Actually, 36 would have been the dead on 12 o'clock position. Should have started with 36, but as you can see, it doesn't really matter. So we can put in a couple on the approximately opposing ends to kind of keep the balance. So something in on the range of 9. So let's put in 9. Actually, why not? And the other one is 27. Here's 27. All right. So once you got 4 in place, then it's really pretty sturdy. Of course, it's gonna feel a little flimsy until all the pieces are in, to be expected. But once everything is put together and all the slats are locked in place with these locking rings on top and bottom, it's gonna be very sturdy and solid. All right, I happen to have number 8 in my hand, so this was 9, therefore 8 is next to it. 8, 28, 29, 26, let's work a little bit on this side as well. I'm gonna put the teens here. So this was 9, 8, 7. Here is number 6. 7.
Number 5. Number 4. Three. Let's work a little bit on the teens again. 10. 11. 12. Easy. 13. 14. 15. Let's work a little bit on this side. 25. 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Okay. 24. 23. 22. Let's go pretty quickly. You got the idea. I'm gonna pause.
And the last 2. Okay, that's it, all done. Now next is the locking ring. They're the same size top and bottom. This will need to be glued in place. And little dabs of glue at the bottom of each notch of the slats, right? Not a hot glue because that will dry too fast. You need a little time to put this in. But a construction adhesive, something that's, or a project adhesive by Liquid Nails, something that is not too runny and thin, you know, not the yellow wood glue. That would work, but it's too runny and thin. By the time you get around, it might not be. So I recommend something a little thicker, like the Liquid Nails I said, mentioned. And then we place this into the grooves, starting at any one point, right? Push in. Now the slats will need to be kind of adjusted. Some of them are hanging a little too far out, too far in, right? So keep the pressure on. This is probably the hardest part, honestly. Move each slat back and forth as you go. Make sure you keep pressure on where it already has gone in. Basically, there you go. There's always one that's a little too far in or out, and until you find it, it doesn't want to go in. Okay. So just little micro moves back and forth. Okay. That's why I don't like the quick drying glues for this step. Oh, I pushed that out a little too far. That's it, and it's all in. Alright, that's where the ring went. So I don't have glue under my ring locker, but you will obviously. And in order to keep that ring down and in place until the glue dries, we have these temporary little clamps basically. They're labeled B for bottom and T for top. So let me get all the T's. I believe, yeah. So basically, let's imagine there's glue there. We slide this in a few places, 4, 3, 4, 5 places, whatever. Take another one. Let's put another one. Let's say at least 4 of them in a crisscross shape, right? With glue under it, it probably won't be loose at all, but if it is, then after it's in, it's too loose, just slide a little piece of paper, a credit card or a business card size, something underneath it, right? So let's say we'll have 4 of them. There you go. So that's how easily they went in. These are all pretty snug. That's good enough to hold it down for the glue to dry. Okay, so at this point, this can be picked up and removed off of this holding template. And we got to put the bottom ring in place. Enough room to barely get it out. Right, so turn it upside down and glue the bottom ring in place as well. Just probably good idea to, you could mask tape it around it quickly, temporarily, or one of those, but I'm just gonna take a chance here. I can always put a couple of, so you could have kind of bungeed around it temporarily to keep them. I would recommend doing that. I didn't do that. I had to slide a few pieces back in. Forgot to mention that the locking ring has one side raw wood, other side stained. Glue obviously the raw wood side down, right? So again, glue into the notches. I'll take advantage of showing this at this stage. So these are the notches, right? So put glue right into the center of these notch points, right there. Just a pea-sized ball. And this will lay in that groove. So again, same way, pick a starting point. And then start moving the slats slightly in or out so that it aligns, the notch aligns with the ring. I'm mostly pushing in, probably because the top's already locked. There you go, that was it, that was easy. And now, the bottom ring is in place, and we have to do the same thing. Slide these clamps, right? They are marked B for bottom. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, I'm glad I'm doing this live because I come across the same issues you will. The cogwheel spacer has slid down slightly. So of course you have to make sure that it's tightly up against with a screwdriver or pen, anything, you know, just make sure that it's kind of up. Well, actually, you can reach in here and pull it up by hand. It makes the most sense. And then, again, mark for B for bottom. Look how nicely it goes in. Perfect. And keep that in until the glue dries. When the glue dries, of course, you just pull right out, slide right out. Now, the slats can't go anywhere, right? It's dry, there's no glue. And it's already very sturdy, and by itself, it's held together. And now for the electrical lighting part. Just want to take a second to point out this feature here. This little metal plate with little teeth on it is clamped around the housing, right? The top of the housing and the cabling. And those teeth grab the outside cabling and connect it, tie it directly to the housing so that there's no strain on the electrical wires inside. And that's important to have the same sort of setup on top, the other end. So just simply remove this washer, and this light inserts right through that hole. And place this down for a second. And voila, right, that's all there is to it. And now it's hanging with the light, and because of those clamps with the teeth, the force and the strain is on the outside of the cabling, which this light is not that heavy, it can handle it. An alternative would be to add a chain, and then you don't need this. But without it, it's an extra safety step.